Just getting pretty worked by the eclipse energies and having a round of being wiped out by the fatigue as I'm purging the parasites. Also, this fire and longing in the heart, and this ability to rest in the awareness while the burning happens, while the purging happens. And I just had a nice release of tears, and an insight wants to be shared about the compassion that we should have for ourselves around our bodies and addictions, and not being able to care for our bodies in the way that we might want to. and quite frankly, abusing our bodies. Many of us as teenagers and in our 20s just abused our bodies. And just the understanding of where that comes from. Just seeing that as, coming in as the innocent, open, beautiful, pure hearts that we are, and then coming in to our karmic situation in order to replay the karma. That's what we signed up to do. But that blow to our innocence, whatever it was, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, we couldn't feel the pain at that time. We didn't have the resources. We didn't have the knowing. We didn't have anyone reminding us that we were the light, that we were the love, and that this pain could be felt in a place of safety. No one taught us how to feel our emotions. And sometimes the abuse is so intense that we literally had to leave our bodies. And then the addictions and the abuse of our bodies come from simply the only way we knew how to deal with the pain. And it's no one's fault. It's all innocence, and it's all, out of the courage and purity that we are, we came in to this very dense reality with an assignment to go through this intensity of karma and trauma, to love ourselves, to come back to love, to come back to fully feeling everything and welcoming in the pain, and remember who we are. It's our service. It's our service to ourselves and humanity to feel the unbearable, what felt unbearable pain of our trauma. And there's a lot of help out there and ways to do that. And working with the emotional body has been a huge game changer for me, working with my innocence and going back, doing the hypnotherapy regression work. in order to replay the moment of trauma and to let in all the feelings that couldn't be felt. While holding the space of the beingness that I know that I am, so allowing the whole story and the drama to play out, to realize that my caregivers, my parents, the person who violated me, he was in extreme pain and he had unresolved stuff that he hadn't worked through. And so he was operating from a completely toxic place. And to see that, and to see that it was never about me. And then this beautiful process of coming to feel that pain until it's worked through, and then to turn it around and feel the love. Feel as we shower ourselves with love and compassion and allow ourselves to feel this pain, it blossoms into us feeling the love for ourselves. And then when we feel this love for ourselves, we can begin to forgive and love the other. We can see that how it was all set up for us to come back to ourselves, to come back to our love and our light. And without that incident, without that trauma, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So that hypnotherapy regression work I did was absolute game changer. And now it's just about receiving the energy. There's no story left. It's just the energy of it. And sure, there might be another seeing of something else, but it's at this place where I'm at, it's just a release of the nervous system energy. And it feels like it's like every time I get slammed by the fatigue, that's what brings me in. And then like my hips are super painful. And that's where we store the traumatic energy. But I don't no longer need to understand where it comes from. I mean, I know it's just like lifetimes of trauma, of carrying distortion and density and confusion about who I am. Really, it comes down to the pain of forgetting that I am eternal, I am the light, I am the love, I am the joy, and I am not this body and this character. And this process of purging and releasing is actually bringing me into that remembering more and more. And so because there's such an anchoring in truth at this point, an anchoring in the awareness and the beingness and this fire for this passion for home, and this pull, this feeling of like being pulled there also. Like beloved longs for me just as much as I long for myself, for my beloved, for God, Mother, Father, God, however you want to say it. It's just now letting these cycles come forth with very little resistance. And well, actually, almost a welcoming. It is a welcoming, and it's like this edge of like, not bliss, not ecstasy, but loving that it's here. Because as I bring these parts of myself home, as I allow this purging process to happen, it opens up more connection with the truth of who I am. And it opens up my heart into more love and more beauty, more spaciousness, more silence. more ability to drop into my true self, the silence, and just watch the mind and not get caught into the story of it. And yeah, with the purging also comes like the story in the mind and the activity in the mind, and that's part of it. But there's a knowing that is just playing, and it's actually not affecting my true self. Yeah, so this also wanted to just share this to share with people who are working through addictions and struggling with addictive behaviors and compulsive behaviors, to really come to the place of compassion for yourself. Knowing that it was just a thing that we did because the pain was too intense to feel, and in loving ourselves and being like, oh, sweetheart, anyone who went through what you went through would feel this way and would want to numb the pain because it was so intense. And as we soften with ourselves and just become aware of the pattern and hold the space in the being, that's what helps bring forth. That's what helps create the safety for the feelings to come forth. And yes, it feels like it's unbearable and that it will kill us if we felt those pieces, those places from childhood or from our teenage years. It could be many things. But the mind makes it out to be more extreme than it is, and actually it's such a relief once we allow the feelings to flow. And so, yeah, having someone to witness and hold space can be incredibly powerful and important. And calling upon the angels and the spirit guides and whatever tools we need to do that deep work, trauma work. And allowing ourselves to go into the story, but also knowing that story, when we come into true forgiveness and acceptance, and then there's a stage of gratitude for that person for playing the role that they did. And then we can let go of the story and just, and the cycles continue, the cycles of emotions come forth, but then it's just the receiving the energy and allowing the nervous system to purge. We don't need to get stuck and keep holding on to the story. And it will fall away if we're on the path of truth and awakening and going all the way home, remembering our true nature. It's a natural progression. At certain stage, yes, it's important to go into the story to understand what happened and to work through it. And then at a certain stage, it's like, okay, it's time, and it just falls away. Because we are not our story. We are not what happened to us. We are we are powerful. We are incredibly powerful and resilient. And the light and the love that we are has this courageousness to it to overcome our trauma. And then it no longer affects us. Even when it's here, even when the same energy of it is here, knowing the truth of the being is like, it's like the scales have tipped, and that is more true than being hooked into the story. It doesn't mean the story won't come up Whatever arises is perfect. Whatever arises in the burning phases is perfect. And it's in the surrender and allowing and letting go of resistance of whatever needs to arise that really just burns away the layers around the heart and clears out the nervous system for us to know ourselves deeper and deeper and deeper. And then the behaviors change. The addictions fall away. Naturally, we learn to be really kind and gentle with ourselves. We learn to just watch with love and compassion as our character, does the obsessive kind of addictive behaviors. But we're watching in holding space, knowing the unraveling is happening in its own timing. That the addiction is indeed like a numbing and a distraction from some emotion. And that's okay. Because there's a faith and a trust that the longing for home is so strong, and the trust in the trust in whatever is arising is so rooted that there's letting go into the trust of the timing of everything. Everything will come forth that needs to come forth in its own timing, when it's safe, when it feels the love, for us to recognize that we are not touched by anything moving and changing. We are not touched by the phenomena. We never have been touched by the human play. And that's freedom. So lots of love on your journey. Just wanted to share where I'm at, what's going on. And maybe you can relate. Maybe you're in the trauma stage, and I just wanted to emphasize that it feels to me that like bringing in the love for our neglected emotional body, our neglected little one, our neglected innocence, and letting them tell their story, letting them speak, letting them express, that feels like it feels so important. It feels like it's not to be skipped over and just trying to anchor in the absolute and neglect that part of ourself. So maybe that's the phase that you're in, and that's so precious. It's such a precious phase to welcome in our innocence and that child in ourselves that never was able to feel their feelings and never got the love that they needed because no one knew how to teach us to hold the space of love for ourselves. But that's the resources we can learn, is how to parent ourselves by recognizing we are that spaciousness. We are the space that it's the loving parent that can hold the space for the little one to come forth and express its rage, its hopelessness, its despair, wanting to give up all the things that we felt when the trauma happened. We have to go back and feel those things. It's just the unraveling process of the awakening. And I think it's here big time on a collective level, this place of the shadow and the traumas coming forth. So, yeah, there are practitioners out there that can hold space. I have a recommendation if you want to reach out. I have someone that's amazing. Lots of love to you on your journey home, my companions. Thanks for watching. Until next time.